Hey there, this is Mr. Icarus, and welcome to yet another edition of Doom Mod Madness. This time round, we're checking out Fractal Doom, and on the surface, this doesn't look like anything particularly exceptional or strange, and that's until you start making enemies die, and it started already, but as you probably noticed, the enemies are multiplying in strange and slightly unpredictable ways. First of all, imps have the ability to throw smaller imps at you, which in turn can spawn smaller imps, like this one here. Zombie soldiers will spawn 2 extra tiny zombie soldiers if you kill them, and pinkies will just explode into progressively tinier pinkies until you just destroy the tiniest. It's absolute madness. It is wonderful insanity, and I can probably say it this early in the video, I love Fractal Doom. It is just such a silly concept pulled off really well. And this is just the imps and the zombie soldiers. We haven't even got into some of the other enemies here. So, in that regard, we're going to go hunting. We're going to go hunting for some interesting encounters. In fact, we're going to come through here and try and pick up a chain gun. And the weapons, believe it or not, have the ability to go fractal themselves. And that means that your bullets will spread out into smaller bullets, which can damage nearby enemies. It's just a wonderfully mad concept. I love that someone put the time and effort into making this a thing. And we got tiny mancubi. Is that the plural for mancubus? I have no idea, but I'm enjoying it nonetheless. But we're going to escape this area, because we're very much about to die, what with the sheer number of tiny projectile spewing enemies there are around here. And we're going to investigate a slightly calmer area. I say calmer. It won't be calm for long, because I'm going to show you what happens when we meet a Revenant. And the Revenant is quite possibly my favorite thing about this particular mod. It's just wonderful in the dumbest way. And there's a Revenant around here. Just gonna have to get... Oh, wait, no, we've got tiny Revenants already. And if you haven't noticed, these tiny Revenants are wearing tiny hats. And there's a reason for that, because when Papa Revenant over here decides to fire, occasionally he will fire tiny Revenants riding his missiles. And if you don't kill those tiny Revenants, they will fall off the missiles and then start launching projectiles at you. And it just becomes an absolute wondrous clusterfuck. I am so entertained by this. It is ridiculously entertaining. In fact, I'm going to switch over to the old chain gun here. No, actually, bollocks. I nearly had a good run going there as well. So, where was I? Ah, yes. Hat-wearing, rocket-riding mini-revenants. That is just wonderful in every possible way, but sadly, we're going to have to kill Papa Revenant here, because the longer we let him live, the more out of hand this situation will become, and when the situation becomes unmanageable, we tend to die, so yeah. Sorry, tiny sombrero-wearing Revenants. Your time is up. But it makes me really grateful for the chain gun alternative fire here, which is really, really great at hoovering up mini variants of enemies. Same goes for most of the higher weapons as well. The rocket launcher has a fantastic alt fire, which just spins out tons of tiny rockets, which I imagine is absolutely devastating against crowds, and the same goes for the plasma gun. I mean, look at that. That is absolutely nuts. Takes up a colossal amount of ammunition, but hey, you'd expect it, wouldn't you? But wouldn't you know it, the BFG also has a crazy alt fire function, which I can't actually use right now because it takes 800 ammo units. So I'm going to ID KFA, and we're going to see what happens. Yep, that's a BFG, and it's killed me. Yeah, I'm under no illusion here. I'm not getting out of this level alive. So we've covered fractal monsters, we've covered fractal weaponry, but believe it or not, there's still something we have not covered here, and that is the Hoover. Now this functions pretty much the same as the chainsaw, but if an enemy is tiny enough, you can actually hoover him up and then use him as ammunition. No, I am not joking. So what we're going to do here is try and hoover up as many minis as we can, just to build up a little backlog of tiny monster ammunition. And then we're going to see how much damage we can do on the imps up here. Because when you fire mini monsters, they actually do the same damage as plasma guns. And yeah, when you run out, this happens. It's called Brutal Doom mode. I wonder why. But listen, that's not all. This rabbit hole goes even deeper, and we're going to need a bit of extra health for this, because it's not just enemies and weapons that are fractal, you are fractal as well. That's right, I just spawned a mini-marine, and these guys will go around picking up mini-monster weaponry that's dropped, and will fight on your behalf. And you can do this as long as you have at least 30 percentage points of health to draw from. So that's why I'm using the IDDQD cheat to top my health back up here, because I want a tiny army of mini-marines doing my bidding, but it's just the icing on top of the ludicrous cake. A prime example of having a ludicrous concept and just turning it up to 11, because why the hell not? And my favorite thing about the mini-marines is that they run around spouting Brutal Doom lines just in a really high-pitched voice. It's a wonderful little touch. But yeah, I just love this mod to bits. It's really fun to play, utterly ludicrous. It's had me laughing my backside off with the just sheer insanity of the amount of tiny enemies you'll be up against. And if you fancy a challenge, there's definitely a challenge to be enjoyed here, because getting through these constantly multiplying enemies is certainly an ordeal. And this area right here, this will be a great achievement for myself if I manage to get through it in one piece. So from this point onwards, no more cheats, no more topping up my health. This is all me now. And my mini-marines. Can't forget about the mini-marines. They're my bros. They keep me safe. And they're gonna have to pull overtime because we now enter Pinky Apocalypse. There's just so many of them. It's fantastic. Actually, this is probably a good opportunity for me to use the old Hoover here. Let's try and Hoover up some mini-monster ammunition, because I'm pretty sure there's a Hell Knight around here as well, and we could certainly use the extra firepower. Oh, that didn't last long. Oh well. Back to the super shotgun. Maybe if we're lucky we'll spawn some extra mini-marines, because you don't have to use the specific ability to spawn mini-marines. Sometimes they'll just spawn randomly from you taking damage, which is always useful in a pinch. But the real test here is going to be after I pick up the blue keycard, which I don't really need to do considering I've got all weapons and keys, but I just feel like challenging myself, because once I pick this up, a small army of cacodemons is going to ambush me, and you know what? I hate platforming, so I'm going to no-clip up here. You saw nothing. No cheats. No cheats were used whatsoever. Yeah? Why isn't it opening? I'm going to have to try it again, aren't I? Look away. I'm not cheating. Not no-clipping at all. Maybe I'm not going over the right line. There we go. This is where the apocalypse truly begins, folks. Let's see if our fractal rockets can take all of these mini-cacos and big papacacos down. I don't like my odds, to be perfectly honest. I've already spent far too long just looking at them. I could probably use my plasma gun, but I feel like that's a little bit too OP. And I could use the BFG, but it will probably kill me as well, which is counter to my whole objective here. But we're doing okay. 75 health, 51... Oh, Jesus Christ. We're not doing well. We're not doing well at all. And we're dead. I can't... I love the mini-marines. I can't honestly say I was surprised. Can't say I was surprised, but that was Fractal Doom. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. The link, as usual, is in the description below, and feel free to let me know what you thought in the comments below, as well as any suggestions for future episodes of Doom Mod Madness. This has been Mr. Icarus. Thank you very much for watching. Icarus out.